I'm here now with Professor Glenn Roy of the Roath Actual History Museum. We're here to discuss an incredible find of artifacts and relics in Skip by the Macintosh, depicting the history of Roath. Dr. Roy.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes.
So please, this
yes, I find came about 2 years ago with the death of Mr. Eddy, who lived.
That's why it's called the Eddy Collection.
Eddy Collection, and he was a bachelor, and he was obsessively collecting objects of interest about Roath. Unfortunately, his house was sold. The contents of it were thrown out in a skip. I was lucky enough to be there on the day to find these things in the skip, and I've now transferred these to the actual History Museum of Roath.
This fabulous
location.
I'm
really pleased, excited about this.
Well, I'm thrilled and very, very eager to actually get into the objects and let's see what we've got here.
What should we start with?
Well, I'm kind of interested in this right here. What can you tell us about it?
That they were small heads. I think, and this is just one of them that survives, small heads that were made and put on flat home islands in the turn of the last century. That they were used there to kind of fend off invaders.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really see it now, but the eyes, I think they've been taken out with a penknife or something, but the eyes used to have kind of fluorescent diamonds in.
Good Lord.
For when a ship came, shone its lights on there, it was an absolute terrifying sight.
The one thing I've been dying to ask you about is this.
Yes. Now, you probably noticed in your visit here that Roath begins with R. This was made for the prototype sign to welcome people to Roath.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and this was the prototype, and it's an early type of plastic that they used for this.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a prototype. The actual letter in itself was about 30 foot high. There's a 30-foot R. Roath.
Now this.
Yes.
Oh, that's quite heavy too. And I'm seeing an extraordinary thing. What on earth could this be? A rather extraordinary, familiar, and yet not so.
This was dug up on the old Chancery Road in Roath, which is the main artery taking people into Roath.
Right.
And that pigment has been analysed, and we are going back to cave painting.
No.
Yes.
Good Lord. So this painting, could it possibly have been done by the fabled wild men of Roath?
It was, yes. And we're almost sure it represents the very first design for a Clark's pie.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Now, moving on, this object has been intriguing me ever since I first saw it. It is quite extraordinary, remarkably delicate. And it appears
be careful how you hold it, please.
Sorry, of course.
Yes.
Appears to be some kind of pipe at first look. One can see clearly right through it.
Yes. You use the word pipe. Very interesting choice of word, that. We've looked into it. This itself was found discarded on the edge of Wellfield Road. Mr. Eddy said in 1942 on a bomb site.
Really?
Yes.
And what would have been its function?
That is again a very good question, and we have no idea.
Fascinating. Thank you, Professor. Professor Roy, it only remains for me to thank you with all sincerity for your time this afternoon. This extraordinary collection of relics from Rothian history. Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure.
There is one last thing, if I may. Yes, one last thing. that I can't resist asking you about. I must go there. Do you mind?
Oh, go on.
It's very exciting. The Elm Street marbles.
I thought you'd ask about
No,
them. Yes,
no.
they're here.
These are the
These
actual
are them,
marbles
yes.
themselves.
And they're not having them back.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. I suppose it would be too much for me to ask to... Yes, of course.
Yes, it would be.
Extraordinary. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing.